In July 1973, the 16-year-old grandson of the world's richest man was kidnapped in Rome. His grandfather initially refused to pay the ransom, believing it a hoax. This stubborn decision set in motion a harrowing chain of events that would shock the world and forever mark the Getty dynasty. The subsequent arrival of a chilling package would force a reconsideration, but at an unspeakable cost. The victim was John Paul Getty III, a rebellious heir living a bohemian life in the Italian capital. Rome in the early 1970s was a city of contrasts, vibrant yet shadowed by political instability and rising crime. The young Getty, known for his free spirit, was abducted from Piazza Farnese in the pre-dawn hours, vanishing into the Roman night. His grandfather, the enigmatic J. Paul Getty Sr., presided over an oil empire from his English estate, Sutton Place. A legendary figure of immense wealth, he was also famously parsimonious, known for installing a payphone for guests in his mansion. This deeply ingrained frugality, combined with a cynical view of his often troubled family, shaped his initial response to the ransom demand. The first calls for a substantial ransom, reported to be $17 million, were dismissed by Getty Sr. and even by Italian police. Investigators initially suspected the kidnapping was a desperate ploy by the young man himself to extract money from his unyielding grandfather. This unfortunate skepticism would allow the true captors, later identified as members of the Calabrian 'Ndrangheta Mafia, to tighten their grip. From his distant English manner, J. Paul Getty Sr. remained steadfast in his refusal. He declared that paying any ransom would only encourage further abductions of his 14 other grandchildren. This cold calculation, while perhaps logical to a man of his stature, baffled the public and intensified the desperation of his grandson's mother, Gail Getty. She pleaded with the family for assistance. Months passed with no resolution. Then, in November 1973, a shocking package arrived at the offices of the Italian newspaper Il Messaggero. Inside were a lock of hair and a severed human ear, accompanied by a letter threatening further mutilation if the ransom was not paid. The kidnappers had proven their gruesome resolve, sending an undeniable message to the Getty patriarch. This horrific act finally broke the billionaire's resolve. Negotiations resumed, culminating in a drastically reduced ransom of $2.9 million. In a detail that underscored Getty Sr.'s legendary stinginess, a crucial portion of this sum, $800,000, was the maximum amount considered tax-deductible. The remaining $2.1 million was provided as a loan to his son, Paul Getty Jr., at a 4% interest rate. John Paul Getty III was eventually released in a roadside ditch in southern Italy in December 1973, 5 months after his abduction. He was alive but profoundly traumatized, bearing the physical and psychological scars of his ordeal. A subsequent police crackdown led to numerous arrests, and some of the kidnappers were eventually convicted, though many others vanished into the shadows. The young Getty's life thereafter was plagued by ill health, drug addiction, and profound personal struggles, culminating in a debilitating stroke in 1981. He remained severely disabled until his death in 2011, a living testament to the indelible damage inflicted by his captivity. The immense wealth of his family offered no shield against the long-term consequences of such a brutal trauma. The kidnapping of John Paul Getty III remains a chilling chronicle of extreme wealth, familial dysfunction, and criminal cruelty. It stands as a stark reminder that even the most unimaginable riches offer no immunity from the darkest facets of human nature, leaving a legacy of pain and unresolved questions that echo across generations.